in 2017, Apple announced their first ever smart speaker called the HomePod. It was a smart speaker with huge, high ambitions and had a lot of things going for it in the beginning. But because of its price tag, plus its delay and lack of features at launch, the speaker didn't really do too well in the beginning. But of course, several software updates later, new features coming out, and the smart speaker seemed on track to do pretty well. But that price tag just could not consume enough sellers. But it allowed Apple to go back to the drawing board and allowed them to work on a brand new speaker that would not only deliver on price, sound, and affordability, but also would get to everybody's household much easier. Enter the HomePod Mini. Last year, Apple announced it, and it has gone off to a very good start with consumers. So in today's episode, we're going to take a look at the 1-year mark of the HomePod Mini, and we're going to discuss and see what has changed with Apple's game with the HomePod Mini, and we're going to take a look at the speaker since it's been a full year. All the hype has died down, software updates are here, so let's take a look and see what we get for $100 and what are the current standings of Apple's smart home going forward. All that on today's episode, so stay tuned. Now, full disclosure, full basic breakdown of this video, I have personally been using the HomePod Mini for a full year thanks to my girlfriend. She was kind enough to let me use her HomePod Mini for the year, as I was the one that bought it for her anyway. But also, secondly, the HomePod Mini that I picked up is the brand new blue color that they have released. So this is actually my personal HomePod Mini that I have used, but I have also used the original HomePods for the last couple of years, so I'll be using that to base off the review. So I just want to get those disclaimers and disclosures out of the way, so that way we can start the video. Also, real quickly, disclaimer number 2, my dog is with me as well, so she will be in the video from time to time. So Mila, say hello to everyone. Now, she's a little bit moody, jumpy, so I'll be putting her down from time to time, and of course, she'll be in here from when we film. Now we got that out of the way, let's talk about the HomePod Mini. So first things first, when you get the HomePod Mini, its packaging is very similar to its original brother-sister HomePod, like the original OG HomePod packaging, although it's much smaller and a lot more tinier. Opening up the box, you get your HomePod. You also get the braided cable that comes this time with a USB-C connector and a charging brick included. Now, this was one of the biggest things that got everybody's attention, that Apple was putting USB-C on their smart speakers, and it actually does make a lot of sense, as USB-C is very universal, so you can use any charging brick, and it's also a good, clever way to get people to buy a USB-C brick and go in on fast charging in the process. Also inside the box, you get your paperwork and one Apple sticker. Now, taking a look at the HomePod Mini itself, this is my personal HomePod Mini. I love this blue color, but looking back when it was released a year ago, it only came out in 2 colors, black and white. So taking a look at this HomePod Mini, it is a very big departure from its original version of the HomePod. Where the original HomePod had more of a symmetrical kind of shape, this one is more of just a nice, nice circle, just basic, simple, but it's definitely a lot bigger than most mini speakers out there in terms of its shape. Now, taking a look at it itself, it does retain the same mesh design seen in the original HomePod. It is very light and durable, it's well built and compact. The top this time around, at least from the original HomePod's departure, it now has the volume track that is officially put into the touch panel of the top. So where the original HomePods had a digital volume tracker, this is put in permanently. Now, this is a positive, as it does allow better volume control, whereas the digital one could usually glitch if you use the original HomePods. But it's also a negative because the original HomePod had a nicer, cleaner look, but I'm all for this new design, and for one reason. The new Siri icon, when you ask for a command and when you do anything, it lights up the entire screen. So that's a very nice animation, and the voice pronunciation inside of the speaker is excellent. I gotta tell you guys, it is clear, vocals are nice, so this isn't even audio. We're not even getting to the audio area, we're just talking smart speaker. Now, in terms of the bottom, it does have the Apple logo with a nice little grippy base at the bottom, so that this thing, when you put it on a surface, it's not gonna move anywhere. And it also helps with the bass response, which we will get to in just a second. Now, when you set it up, it is just like your regular HomePod. You will have to obviously use your iPhone and be used with the Home app. but also it is a lot more easier this time around, as since it's been a year, Apple has made the process a lot more easier. And once you pair it up, it is good to go. Now, the new HomePod Mini specs have the S4 chip, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. I don't have anything on standby here to give me the specs, so I'm just whizzing off the top of my brain. But it is the same CPU power found inside of your Apple Watch, at least the last year generation model. Also, it has a new driver setup. Now, the original HomePods had a down-firing woofer with 7 tweeters. This time around, they did not use any of that. Instead, to save money and cost, they used a down-firing transducer with dual passive radiators on the side for better bass, and also is touting computational audio. Now, the whole computational audio marketing gimmick seems to have worked for a lot of people, as it does do a pretty good job in enhancing the sound, but with the new updates with lossless and Dolby Atmos, which we'll get to in just a second, it kind of doesn't really necessarily become a big deal. But I will say, in regards to the sound quality with this new setup, I was a little afraid that Apple was going to take a step back in the audio department and it was going to be a money bass experience. And I'm here to tell you guys that is not the case, because for $99, this sounds incredibly great. It is honestly the best mini sounding speaker you're going to find on the market. Now, here's a quick little sound sample just to show you guys, to play just a quick sample, because I'm not going to do a full breakdown review, but I want you guys to hear what it sounds like when you're listening to music with the HomePod Mini. Copyright reasons, I can't go any further with any more audio, so I apologize if you guys are a little bit disappointed. Now, in regards to Siri capabilities, again, if you know Apple, you know Siri is very limited, and this thing still has a lot of room to grow. But thankfully, with all of the progress that Apple has made with HomePod OS, the software updates have made it not only more useful, they have come with better audio features like lossless audio, which now gives you high quality streaming. And if you're one of the few original HomePod owners, you can also get Dolby Atmos with spatial audio. Now, we'll discuss that in just a little bit, but the Home app has really made the HomePod Mini its own game. And the unique experience of it has come with no little cost. All it is just Apple really improving on what the Mini can do and giving it a lot more capabilities on the hand. Now, one of the cool things that I like about the HomePod Mini is actually a physical feature, where if you bring your phone close towards it to obviously switch media, with the original HomePod you just put it on top and it will automatically transfer the audio. With the Mini, because it's using the S-Series chip, you get a nice little haptic feedback on your iPhone 12, and if you're using an iPhone 11 Pro or any other models that support this feature, I think it's only the 12s, but regardless, it gives you a nice little haptic feedback letting you know that the audio is transferred, and it actually does it much further away with a nice animation. So that is very cool. Now, the last thing before we end the video is, of course, how does it do with day-to-day operations? Now, again, just like every HomePod, Siri is still limited in its capabilities, as of course Apple has chosen to be more closed-ended instead of open-ended like how Alexa and Google are. Again, I apologize if I set off your echoes. But regardless, Siri does work to the best that it can. It does the basic commands very well. It does understand my voice very good. And I do have to say that Apple is making a lot of progress with Siri, and the HomePod Mini is able to take full advantage of this. And I actually gotta say that she's getting a lot more useful. So gotta give Apple a lot of credit with the Mini and how they approached it with Siri. So overall, a year later, taking a look at this thing, what do I think of the HomePod Mini? And what do I think of Apple going forward with speakers? Well, it's very simple. This thing is delivering in every area that Apple needed it to deliver. It's affordable, it's easy to pick up, it's easy to put it any place in your house, it provides a very good sound, it has a lot of tons of features that I didn't even get to discuss, so, you know, there's a lot of things that it can do, and being now that Apple has opened the doors with color options, and considering that it's only gonna get better from here, I gotta tell you guys, it has worked amazingly in a year. However, there is one gleaming problem. and that is the HomePod itself, not the Mini, the original. You see, when Apple went all in on the HomePod Mini, they discontinued the original HomePod. Sure, it saw a $50 reduction, but it was discontinued in favor of this new Mini version. And while the Mini can do a lot of what the original does, there are a lot of things that the big one can do that this one can't. For just like I said, spatial audio, 3D audio, Dolby Atmos effect. It works a lot better with Apple TV. While this can work with your Apple TV, the original HomePods were able to produce better sound and give you a more soundbar-like experience versus the Mini. And also now with lossless audio and other high-res features, and Apple still continuing to support the original HomePod, the original HomePod is getting better. And Apple decided to discontinue it, and now the Mini can't really make up that ground for the high-res experience. So the question going forward now is, where does Apple position themselves with the HomePod? And it's very simple. They figured out what works. They went back to the drawing board, said we need to get a cheaper speaker on the market and get enough users to use it and put it into their houses. Now that they've got that, it's time to start expanding. It's time now to start using woofers and tweeters again, a slightly bigger design to help accommodate those designs, but also it's time for Apple to continue to expand Siri's capabilities with third parties, not fully opening, but allowing for more third-party apps with smart lights, smart accessories, and other things. And they're continuing to do so. But the main thing that they need to do now is they have to make up ground in the smart area. Now, I've been covering the rumors of Apple potentially making a Siri show like the Echo Show, and also they're working on a newer HomePod with better sound and better drivers. So we'll have to wait and see what the future holds for the HomePod. But overall, final thoughts, after a full year of Apple just really getting their homework done, the HomePod Mini has been an incredible hit for Apple. It has sold very well. It is giving them market share in this smart home field. And I can tell you from using it for a year and now having my own, I am very excited for this, and I really love this product. It is simple, basic, easy to use. It works perfectly with everything. And again, if you're an Apple ecosystem user, this is a no-brainer. It's not inexpensive. It's not that expensive, I meant to say. And overall, it does everything you need. So I absolutely recommend the HomePod Mini if you are an Apple user, and I absolutely think you should be going for the HomePod, and I cannot wait to see what Apple does in the future, and I hope that they finally address some of these issues, but continuing to make more improvement as we go along. And that is it for the HomePod Mini 1 year later review. Now guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, hit the like button. If you disliked the video, you can hit the dislike button. That helps circulate my videos as well. As always, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Again, I'll see you all in the next episode. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Take care, stay safe. From me and Mila, have a good day, and peace!